Okay, let me just tell you, there's a big difference between a nerd and a geek. I'm more of a geek. Nerds like Star Trek, geeks like Star Wars. We are recording. We are recording. Oh, no, I know. Well, I checked in at Foursquare. Why do you just ask me Star Wars questions all the time? Hello, adventurer. So today we are going to continue our adventure with Instagram and not only talk about our adventure, but who we're with, where we took that adventure, and how we feel about it. So let's begin exploring. So when you go down to these three little buttons right here, and I click on that, it's gonna give me three different options. So number one, delete your post. So what that delete does for you is that allows you to delete past posts because, let's be honest, now that you're going through this adventure, you need to go back and delete some of those picture posts. So I'm going to come back to share, but first of all, I'm going to go to edit. So when I go to edit the post, there's a couple things that I want to show you. The first part of that is, where did our adventure take place? And so you can see that I can add location. This is where all of the locations would be. So I could just tag that it is in Orlando, Florida, and then that adds the photo to the map, or what we call geotagging it. Now you can get very specific so that you could be in a certain restaurant venue, you could be at a certain conference, and that is a way for us to also find other people that might be there together. The other part of that is not just where I'm located, but who I'm with. So this is where I had shown you previously, you can mention them. So that's mentioning them, but you can also tag people. So this is where I can tap on the photo and I can say that this is Jeremiah and this is Bob 6464. This is good sometimes because you maybe in a photo you don't know who's who, and you can move these around, so it's pretty cool there, as well as you can go through and delete those. So now you can see that I have location Orlando, Florida, and I have two people tagged in that photo, and then they get notified that they're in a post, and so that kind of starts the conversation. So that's really great. So that is where I'm having my adventure. I also can say who I'm having my adventure with, and then everything is good. So a lot of people think you have to do sharing at this time of the post. You don't. So I leave them all off by default. And if I want to after the fact, that's where I can say I want to share this to Facebook. And when I do that, that's where I might want to go through and edit this, because Facebook isn't going to read my Instagram names 100%. And so I'm just going to say instead that I'm collaborating on that. It does the best job at transferring the information over because Facebook bought Instagram. I will never use the Twitter button. The reason why is it just provides the link. It doesn't actually provide the picture. So what happens is you don't see that in line for Twitter, and your chances actually are reduced by having an Instagram link. So you don't ever want to automatically post. But one really important thing is, let's say I did want to post to my Twitter account. Well, this is where I would go through and hit copy link, and you see that the link is copied to the clipboard, and that's where I can go to my Twitter post. I can write my tweet, and this is all going to be way too long for a tweet, so I write it inside of what works best for Twitter, because you don't want to have that ... like it's cut off. It just looks like you aren't respecting the platform. Don't disrespect Twitter. It's like not taking your shoes off when you go over to a friend's house and they have really nice white carpet. Take off your shoes. But when I copy this link, then I could write my tweet, attach the link, and attach the picture, because once I shared this photo, it copied it back to my phone, and I can put it up there, and that actually increases your chances of getting noticed on Twitter. Many times pick up more followers because they say, oh, that's a great picture. Oh, I didn't know they had an Instagram account. So I'm just going to now share this on Facebook. And what's awesome is that it didn't repost it to Instagram. It just posted it to Facebook. So that's really, really cool that a lot of people might be really good at Instagram, but they don't know what some of those little tiny things are with that. So I want you to focus on being an explorer, not a tourist. If you just do tutorials and you just read books that have the step-by-steps, you're getting kind of the tour of how it works. I want you to be an explorer. It's a different way of looking at the world. Let me explain it like this. My wife, she's an art teacher, and so she had to get her art degree and study the dates of all these paintings and where they were. And so for her graduation present, we went and I took her on a tour of Europe to actually visit all of the paintings. On one of our last trips, we were in Paris and the tour bus was there. And so a lot of people went on that tour. Well, what we did is we decided to wander, and we didn't have an agenda. We didn't have a map. And we went through all the different streets and we ended up getting lost in the city and exploring the city, and it was wonderful. And we ended that evening under the Eiffel Tower eating crepes. And so what happens is, too many times, we want to make sure that we quick get the knowledge, and I need to go because I have to do this, instead of exploring. So what I want you to do is I want you to not be a tourist. Be an explorer, because your adventure begins right now.